Housing affordability is rebounding. For the first time in what feels like forever, we have some genuinely good news on the housing affordability front. The downward trend has stopped, and here's what you need to know. Let's rewind to the end of 2024. Things were tough in San Diego. We hit what I'd call rock bottom. Only 12% of households could afford a median-priced home, just 1 in 8 families. That was a result of a perfect storm. Home prices had topped out over $990,000. Interest rates were peaking near 7% and wages were trailing behind inflation, meaning your purchasing power was actually going down. But then the tide started to turn. 3 critical things happened at once. First, the Federal Reserve stopped raising interest rates and they began to fall. That 6.76% rate dropped down to 6.35%, saving hundreds on the monthly payment. Second, those high interest rates finally put the brakes on rising home prices. For the first time since 2023, prices actually started to fall, even if just a little bit. And third, this is the big one, wages finally caught up to inflation and then some. In San Diego, while inflation was at 4%, wages grew by 5.7%. That's a real gain in your purchasing power. So, what happens when you combine lower rates, falling prices, and rising wages? The rebound. In just 1 year, San Diego's affordability jumped from that rock bottom of 12% all the way up to 15%. That's a 25% improvement. It means about 40,000 more families in our county can now qualify to buy a home. For perspective, the national affordability rate is 39%, and California as a whole is half of that at 18%. So while we still have a long way to go, don't get me wrong, we are finally moving in the right directions. So if these conditions hold steady, with rates expected to ease more this year, prices staying moderate, and wages continue to grow, we may be in for the first long overdue affordability recovery we've seen in a decade. It's not a return to peak, but it's meaningful and measurable, and it's a step up from rock bottom. And that's the first real good news we've had on the housing affordability in a long time. So what do you think? We headed back to high ground or just a blip on the radar? Let me know in the comments below. I'm Matt Honeycutt with Home Free Realty. Thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you next week for another edition of Thursday Housing News. Adios.